My name is Trey Goodman, and I'm an author, columnist, and journalist. Republicans are fighting back. There were a great many FISA abuses, and you can't, in America or anywhere in the world, you can't utilize hearsay gossip, rumor, unverified allegations as the basis of an investigation. For example, Hillary Clinton actually did transfer top secret intelligence from SIPRNet, JWICs, and SCIFs onto her server. We don't know how she did that, but that happened. That's not gossip. Nobody said, hey, I think that Clinton has a private server it was unencrypted for 3 months. That's what they say. No. That happened. She owned the server. It was a crime to remove classified intelligence, simply to accommodate Clinton's maniacal quest for convenience. With Trump Russia, it's the NSA is confident, just trust them. The D.N.C. is certain. Well, how do we know? Did the D.N.C. give its computer service to the FBI? No, but just trust them. Trust them. They hired their own firm, CrowdStrike. Why would the CrowdStrike lie? There's no conflict of interest there. Of course there is. Steele Dossier. Getting to the Steele Dossier, then, Papadopoulos, Alexander Downer, two drunk men. Oh, wow, that's the basis of a FISA warrant. And then you have Alexander Downer, then you have the Steele Dossier that BuzzFeed is getting sued for by five people, including 3 Russian bankers and a Russian entrepreneur and Trump's attorney, Michael Cohen. Fusion GPS is also getting sued by the same people. And now BuzzFeed is suing the D.N.C. Why? For evidence to corroborate what it published in 2017. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? So when you start with publishing something, you say, let's let the people decide. That's what the BuzzFeed brass stated. Let's let the people decide. Well, the people have decided, and you're now getting sued for defamation, and you have nothing to back up any of the allegations in the Steele Dossier because none of them happened. Michael Cohen was never in Prague. The DNC was never hacked. Why don't you do just a little bit of research? The ODNI and DHS and FBI reports come with warranty disclaimers. Do some research, BuzzFeed, but enough of me helping you. Citing evidence of bias, Gowdy, Goodlatte call for special counsel to investigate FISA abuses. South Carolina Representative Gowdy and Virginia Republican Bob Goodlatte are formally calling for an appointment of a special counsel to investigate potential bias and FISA abuses at the Department of Justice. Matters have arisen both recently and otherwise, which necessitate the appointment of a special counsel, reads the letter that Gowdy and Goodlatte sent out Tuesday to Attorney General Jeff Sessions. Okay, so the letter marks a significant development, largely because both Gowdy and Goodlatte have so far resisted requests from conservative Republicans for a special counsel to investigate the Justice Department and the FBI's handling of this infamous Steele Dossier. Gowdy and Goodlatte, who chair the House Oversight and Judiciary Committees, respectively, are calling into question the government's use of the dossier to obtain FISA warrants against former Trump campaign advisor Carter Page. There is evidence of bias trending towards animus among those charged with investigating serious cases. This is obvious. I'm going to go ahead. I'll put the link below. March 6, 2018. This is absolutely wonderful. So, you have Trey Gowdy, you have Goodlatte. You have a formal call right now for a special counsel to investigate FISA abuses, and Trey Gowdy has always been very diplomatic. Or he's been, let's say, more diplomatic than Devin Nunes. A lot more diplomatic. Devin Nunes has been calling for a special counsel for a while. But let's go ahead really quickly before I get onto the nitty-gritty. Trey Gowdy. Trey Gowdy, Bob Goodlatte call for special counsel and Carter pays. Trey Gowdy demands Sessions act on illegal surveillance accusations. Let's just go ahead, type in Sidney Blumenthal, Cody Shearer, Steele. If you do that, here's an article from the Weekly Standard. I'm not a big fan of the Weekly Standard because I'm not a big fan of Bill Kristol, but every once in a while there's some good writing there. The other secret dossier. State Department official recently passed a second Trump dossier written by one of Hillary Clinton's sketchiest supporters. And we can go. The second dossier is allegedly compiled by Cody Shearer. One source with knowledge of the inquiry said the fact the FBI was still working on the Shearer dossier suggests investigators had taken an aspect of it seriously. It raises the possibility that parts of the Steele dossier, which has been derided by Trump supporters, may have been corroborated by Shearer's research or could still be. This is all you need to know about the FISA abuse. Imagine if, let's say, Roger Stone, here, it's just an example, maybe I shouldn't use that example. Okay, let's say Newt Gingrich. Let's say Newt Gingrich wrote a dossier. Newt Gingrich wrote a dossier and Clinton was indicted. Or Clinton will be indicted because there's an FBI Foundation probe and a DOJ email probe ongoing. And Trump stated that she'd be in jail if he was president. He has not only been wronged by Clinton, Clinton went after his family. Podesta told his son-in-law that, yeah, you better put your Kevlar on your back. Because, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Podesta, the maniac, threatened Kushner. And we know who was shot in the back twice. But anyway, The Guardian states it raises the possibility that parts of the Steele dossier, which has been derided by Trump supporters, may have been corroborated by Shearer's research or could still be. How does it work that Clinton operatives are basically feeding Christopher Steele information? How is it that we have a special counsel to investigate allegations made by people who hate Trump? You don't even need allegations by people who hate Clinton to start an investigation. Well, there are 2 investigations ongoing right now. Like I always say, the Clinton Foundation and email probe. The public record is enough to indict Clinton right today, right now. Rudy Giuliani, Judge Napolitano. There are other people who have, Tom Fitton of Judicial Watch, Dan Bongino. How many people? The public record, numerous people have stated, is enough to indict Clinton. Pick a crime, any crime. Pick a crime, any crime. That's why when I repeat a lot of themes every YouTube segment, because there's this cloud hanging over the country, and the cloud is James Comey's, Peter Strzok's, Lisa Page, Bruce Orr, Fusion GPS, Christopher Steele, whole Mueller probe nonsense. It's this cloud of overt corruption that's legitimized by the media, and it's legitimized as either bipartisan politics or the government. When most people think of the Mueller probe, they don't think of a hit job against Trump and a completely fabricated investigation based on allegations from people who hate Trump. A lot of people, unfortunately, think, and these are people who might not be Democrats or whatever, they just think, it's the government. It's just the government. It's just the government. But it's not the government. What's taking place is you have and I'll link this article below. The Atlantic's Natasha Bertrand is now confirming that a memo written by Cody Shear does exist, and she has personally reviewed it. It contains a range of allegations concerning the president's personal behavior and financial transactions. They're going after Trump and his financial transactions. This has nothing to do with the Russian hacking that never took place, and it has nothing to do with the alleged Trump-Russia collusion, which never took place. And it has nothing to do with Russia's influence in the election, which was non-existent. The Facebook ads were seen after the election. Just ask the vice president of Facebook advertising. He wrote that on Twitter. Bertrand further reports that Jonathan Winter, the Obama State Department's special envoy to Libya, and former John Kerry was the go-between for Shear and Steele while he was working at the State Department. You have an Obama State Department employee as the middleman between a person who hates Trump and the Steele dossier. Actually, two people who hate Trump. Christopher Steele hated Trump. And that's documented. So where's the impartiality here? Where's the fair and neutral investigation? The Democrats are so great at twisting semantics. Oh, the D.N.C. primary was fair and neutral. This investigation is fair and neutral. Really? And why is it that everybody the Democratic establishment hates, whether it's Bernie Sanders or Trump, gets targeted? It's just unbelievable. I'll put this article below. It's worth noting that Shear is one of the most disreputable characters in Washington. And the FBI is utilizing his research. Interesting. And has been frequently connected to the most scandalous acts of the Clintons' political careers. That should work well for a special counsel. If Steele passed on information and or allegations from Shear to the FBI, and that information was acted on, it raises serious concerns about the impartiality and judgment of Steele and the FBI. Shearer was last in the news in 2015 when a bombshell ProPublica report on hacked emails from longtime Clinton aide Sidney Blumenthal revealed that longtime Clinton confidant and aide was running a secret spy network, feeding Clinton information on, among other things, Benghazi and Libya while she was Secretary of State. Sidney Blumenthal. No, Shearer was running a spy network to help her with Benghazi. That worked out so well for the country. Recall that Blumenthal is a known liar and a rumor monger, so disreputable that the Obama White House put their own foot down and nixed her attempt at Blumenthal at the State Department. So she wanted Sidney Blumenthal to take the State Department. These people are out of their minds, and the FBI under James Comey said, "Yeah, no problem. Let's go ahead and work with them." Along with Blumenthal, the private intelligence network consisted of former CIA agents. Okay, so Shearer was last seen in the news in 2015 when a bombshell ProPublica report on hacked emails from longtime Clinton aide Sidney Blumenthal revealed that the longtime Clinton confidant and aide was running a secret spy network feeding Clinton information among other things, Benghazi and Libya while she was Secretary of State. And Blumenthal and Shearer are a part of this secret spy network outside the U.S. government. Well, isn't that fantastic? If you go ahead and you do just a little bit more research, Cody Shear, this is the Washington Times, Cody Shear, Blumenthal emerge on list of Russia collusion figures. His name is Cody Scherer, dubbed Mr. Fixer for Bill and Hillary Clinton, and a workmate of fierce Clinton defender Cindy Blumenthal. This was a letter for the Chuck Grassley letter. So last week, these names surfaced in the letters of the Democratic National Committee from Senators Chuck E. Grassley, Iowa Republican, and Chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, and Lindsey Graham. So not only do you have Goodlatte and Gowdy, but you have Lindsey Graham and Chuck Grassley. The entire Republican Party will eventually fight back. Then you have a very interesting article. Look at this. This is today. Christopher Steele knew Democrats funding Trump dossier before FBI sought a FISA warrant. So tell me again how there are no abuses. Which makes sense because he was paid by them to do research. So that actually, just using basic logic. But Christopher Steele knew Democrats funding Trump dossier research. Christopher Steele knew Democrats funding Trump dossier before FBI sought FISA warrant. March 6, 2018, Washington Times. Christopher Steele learned he was being paid by Democrats soon after beginning work on his unverified anti-Trump dossier. A timeline element that may contradict the FBI's warrant application to spy on Trump campaign volunteer Carter Page. So Peter Strzok, Lisa Page absolutely hate Trump with a passion and talk about an insurance policy with Andrew McCabe that involves Trump Russia. Okay. Fusion GPS works with Bruce and Nellie Orr, a couple that obviously are beholden to the Democratic Party. One is an Obama official at the Justice Department, and his wife was being paid by Fusion GPS. Okay. Now you have Christopher Steele being paid by Clinton through Perkins Coie and her law firm, or the law firm that she works with, and the D.N.C. paying for the Steele dossier. And Christopher Steele knew he was being paid by Democrats while he was working on the unverified anti-Trump dossier. This is a profanity alert for my 17-minute crowd. How fucking stupid do they think the American people, voters, you, me, how stupid do they think we are? It's unbelievable. And then you have people on YouTube, and you have people on CNN and YouTube and MSNBC and the Washington Post and the New York Times and the New Yorker and New York Magazine and all these, and Daily Beast, all of these. It's the entire media apparatus is like impotent. They can't, meaning they could not stop Trump from winning, and now they're backtracking. Ultimately they have zero power, but they do influence a great many people, obviously. Ultimately, they have zero power if the American voter can't stand Clinton, like they won't be able to stand Democrats in the media in 2020. Trump will win. But Christopher Steele learned that he was being paid by Democrats. It's just unbelievable. The FBI's October 21st, 2016 application to the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court judge said Mr. Steele didn't know who was paying him, thus giving him the aura of objectivity. But a House Republican intelligence memo shows that he was an acknowledged partisan. A New Yorker magazine article by Jane Meyer this week says Mr. Steele learned he was paid by the Democrats several months after he was hired. The Meyer article offers a flattering portrayal of Mr. Steele, of course. It casts him as a man trying to expose a Trump-Russia conspiracy in the face of unfair attacks by Republicans. Mr. Mayer does not quote him directly. Miss Mayer does not quote him, Jane Mayer. Miss Mayer does not quote him directly. In Washington, liberals generally praise Mr. Steele, a former British intelligence officer, while Republicans accuse him of writing fabrications, which is the truth. Just ask BuzzFeed. BuzzFeed is suing. Maybe Jane Mayer can go ahead and help the BuzzFeed legal counsel with all the information she's compiled about Steele and how it pertains to all the evidence that he has about Trump-Russia. Because guess what? Like I state about 30 times every YouTube segment, it is a fact that BuzzFeed is now suing the Democratic National Committee for information on a hack that never took place and information on the Trump-Russia collusion that never took place in a dossier that is revered by Democrats. The Mayor article, okay, so this means there's a likelihood. Various reports have noted Mr. Steele was retained by Fusion in the spring of 2016. His first memo to Fusion is dated June 20th. That means there's a likelihood that Mr. Steele knew the Democratic National Committee and Hillary Clinton presidential campaign were paying him before the FBI decided to wiretap Trump, volunteer Carter Page months later, based largely on the Steele dossier. And then if you say, well, it's not just the Steele dossier, it's something else. Really, what is it? Oh, it's the conversation, the drunken conversation between Alexander Downer and Papadopoulos. Oh, okay, the drunken conversation. Great. That's fantastic. In another application flaw on FBI footnotes, said it speculated that Mr. Steele work could be partisan. Wow. That is just like saying Hillary Clinton and the D.N.C. paid for the document. The FBI says, well, we can't say that because we have to protect identities. Look, from an FBI cover-up of the email investigation to GCHQ spying on Trump since 2015, to them finding nothing, to the NSA being moderately confident that anyone hacked the DNC, to nobody giving any evidence of anything other than hearsay and gossip, Trump needs to fire Mueller. I'm saying this now every segment. He needs to fire Mueller. I mean, it has to happen. Fire Rosenstein first, do whatever you need to do in terms of protocol. But he's going after people just to ruin them now. This is malicious. This is the definition of malice. And the notion that Democrats are owed any investigation, that ship has sailed already. There was no Trump-Russia collusion. The intelligence community and President Obama had their chance to prevent any treasonous behavior, and they didn't. If they slept on the job, that's their problem. That's their problem. Trump should just simply say, you know what? He does in his tweets, but when he fires Mueller, simply say, look, you had your chance to unearth all this evidence against me. Give me your thoughts below. Share this segment everywhere and subscribe to this YouTube.